right at the end, Nat says, like we all kind of came in separate cars. And she's like, anyone want to go get some food? Now, that's where I screwed up. Because I had some options.
Yep.
And there was just too much going on at the same time for me to make the correct decision.
Nail it.
First one was Charlie was with us and she was going to get a lift home with me. And she'd already been saying earlier, like, hey, when are people about done? Like, I'm pretty done, sort of thing.
Yep.
So there was already kind of this pressure, like, I need to drop her off. And then when she said this, Nat said this, I like look at her, I'm like, Charlie, you want to get some food?
Yep.
Charlie's not super keen.
Not for it.
And then this is where I was like, Belle says, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we'll just get some food near our house. They live close to here. I should have just gone, I'll drop Charlie off and I'll join you guys.
Yes.
I didn't. Just... In any case, there's a chance to catch up with her because she teaches bachata at Club 50/50, something like that, some place near here. And I might actually get back. It's not in the goals, but I might actually get back into dancing again because I have Tuesday nights kind of free now, whereas it used to be spending time with the family, and we're making that more Tuesday afternoons before Prentice actually has soccer
practice.
So I'm kind of going to be in the Gabba area.
So I'm there you go. Okay, he's going to get into the bachata. So Natalie, there you go. Kyrin's coming at you.
So yeah, I might. I mean, even just for the fun of dancing again, just try it out. Because the reason I just didn't continue here was I just didn't like the teacher and the class. I thought it was...
Well, there you go. Sounds like it'd be a good teacher there.
Poorly taught. Yes, correct. Well, hopefully. I mean, maybe she's shit. Who knows?
True.
Welcome, everyone. Peace. Hello. How are you going? I have improved our things again, so you should hear the music when it comes through this time.
Coming through the actual...
the last couple of times it didn't do it correctly, so this time it should. If I can quickly get your thing, I'll be able to show all of this on the screen.
I'm looking forward to doing all of this on my own computer.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
I'm getting ready. Ready. Although, I don't know if you've been playing around or anybody listening to this, Adobe podcast.
They still haven't. I tried to go for it, but...
I've got it.
You got it?
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it on our profile, but they're on beta mode at the moment. So they're only a certain amount of attributes that they've given out, not the full extent of it.
Oh, no, okay. I've done that.
Yeah, gotcha.
There's only like two or three things.
the two things.
Yeah, no. You can get the actual full suite if you are deemed...
Well, last time I checked, it wasn't that it was even deemed.
There are people who have it.
Oh, do they? There you go. Damn. It'd be cool to see what the Adobe podcast operates like. And whether it makes any of these things easier or harder.
The only thing, it's not for live streaming. It's so it won't help out that at all. What it will help out is maybe something like Magic Mastering, which is it can give you these like sort of one-click solutions to get rid of reverb, things like that. I don't do it so much for us. I used to, and then I kind of just went like, I don't think this is actually having that significant an impact.
Yep.
And then I kind of forget like, most people are listening probably through better sounding quality stuff than my laptop speakers and phone. So when I put in the headphones, then I'm like, oh, we do sound echoey. I do a bit of reverb and I think it gets rid of it. But there's still plenty of things out there which I haven't tested audio wise, and I'll actually even talk about that in our actual musing session that comes after this, because audio is not my main focus, to be honest.
Although speaking of, I did listen to someone's new start of a podcast yesterday, and I could tell the difference between just good enough, like fine audio, and not fine audio.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, this is not fine audio.
Yeah. There's there is that kind of minimum, and I'm like, honestly, we probably straddle it sometimes. Ours is okay, but then sometimes I'll listen in and I'll go, oof.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to ours in with headphones on, I guess.
Yeah, see, I have been doing that recently, and that was what kind of spurred me to go like, oh, yeah, I should spend a bit more time on the reverb again.
Yeah, well, I'll get into it in the monthly goals with one of my ones, but yeah, in essence, I want to build a quality sound system in the room.
Yeah. Well, like I've been checking out. Still haven't got round to it. Just
I'm gonna get panels.
Just some actual things. Well, you do it first and then tell me.
Yeah, how it goes.
Jeez, because I haven't been super impressed with all the shit that I've been seeing. Or it's just hard to know, what is worth it, what's not worth it. Why did I make that? That should be 4. Why did I make that there? All right, 6:15. We're almost ready. You can run this one, my friend. Yeah, okay, I've done that post and that post. That should be good. We're going to start in a second, peeps. That one is correct. Yeah. Just make sure I hit that button. Yep. I've got those ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I can close this one down. I'll need to bring the audio up over here. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how much. I think there's. Is the internet at your place good?
Good enough.
Good enough.
We've got NBN/fast shit.
Okay.
I haven't experienced any issue, I guess.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, you can have good internet and it'll still be like shite quality. So
for
just cutting in and out and things like that.
For upload or download though?
Well, for live things.
Yeah, but is live upload rate as opposed to download rate?
I have no idea.
Sometimes I think Kyrin's looking into coding and stuff like that, and is going to be able to talk me. Although I say this, and I also get the megabyte or megabit conversation wrong as well.
Okay.
You know how you can talk about megabytes per second and megabits per second?
Yeah.
They are different things, as I understand it.
Correct.
And I'm like, I don't know when you talk about the
check out my algorithms for dummies
petabits, or when you're talking about like the megabits up and megabits down or megabytes down, I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not completely useless, but there's certainly some things I just don't care about enough to fully dive into. What are your goals for this month? Alright, you ready, one?
That's it.
Okay, here we go, peeps.
We all can be mortals, capable of mistakes. The journey's not here to be agonized.
Welcome back, mere mortal lights, to another edition of the monthly goal. These are the monthly chances for us to have a conversation around the goals that have just been in a monthly direction and the month that are to come. We do a slight review on the ones in the past, why we didn't achieve them. In essence, it helps you, the mere mortal lights at home, to understand just how we, the mere mortals, plan our goals, look at our procedures, actions, things that we want to be looking forward towards. You got Juan here.
Kyrin here, the other side.
And we're going to go straight into February 2023. The things that we did well and not. If you want to look into the actual details, go back to the previous conversation that we did for the February monthly goals. But for myself, I had 7 items. I was able to knock off all of them. One that I basically ticked off.
On your screen now as you're looking.
One that I ticked off, although if you want to get super technical, didn't do, which was the first one. And that's basically through more so a lat being injured,
mate, you would
pausing
100%
myself.
you didn't do it.
Yeah, so I did it 24 days. So I was like, do I count it? It didn't count it technically in the per week basis, but I overloaded it at the beginning.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know. I kind of gave myself a tick on that one. What I didn't give myself the tick on was the 2 book reviews. So I had the ability to do a second book review. I had to sort of let it up. Yes. I only ended up finishing the Life Force book on the 28th, yesterday, last day of February. But I just didn't get around nor find the time myself to sort of push it to go into the second one. And I went, okay, fine, cool. That's awesome. I was happy though. I was happy-ish with the book review I did with the double one. Although I found in the cuts that I wanted to do with the little reels with the double video, I went, positioning could have been better. Might have been able to spend more time, but it was a good trial of doing it with double. I went, And I'll talk about it in the March goals and what I was going to go towards. But it gave me enough of an insight of okay, cool. I think this is how I'm going to do it for the next part. So beside that, everything else was pretty hunky-dory. So that's all to say.
Nice. All right, I'll jump on to mine. So what I didn't do was the 50 approaches. I probably got to 20, 20 remaining. So I did 30. Okay. Partly of that was just due to not actually going out as much because I'm not exercising. I took the full month off in terms of exercising. That's a good point. So in terms of just my general routine, daily stuff, I just wasn't out as much and I didn't make the time elsewhere. I also didn't do 28 hours. I think I did about 20-ish. I think I had 8 or 9 remaining. So still missed out on that, but everything else, 8 hours of German, done. Make effort in new routine in new places, done. Going to events, done. Prioritize to-do list. I didn't finish it, but I sure did prioritize it. Sure. Finished the algorithms coding hook. Got lucky with the restricting elbow pain. I did some stupid shit, Ninja Warrior course, which absolutely should have hurt my elbow, and it didn't. So I got lucky on that one.
You got lucky on that one.
And then probably the funniest one was visiting the language schools. So I went into the city on one day and just basically went to 8 or 9 of them in a row, like bam, 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 bam. And I was essentially cold calling. I would, find out where they're located on my Google Maps, go, hit the button, take the elevator up, and then be some receptionists and be like, hey, so, and then just go into my spiel about asking, do you do any meetup events with Australians mixing with, foreigners?
Gotcha, okay.
Would I be able to do Spanish practice with you, with a person or German practice and vice versa and whatnot? I got some very varied reactions. I got... it was either really good or really bad. There was no kind of middle ground.
I was going to be like, damn, was it any good? It was just all terrible?
There was. No, so
Jesus.
I started off pretty badly. Probably the first 3 or 4 were, what are you doing here? Get away from here. We don't want you in here sort of vibes. They were just, no, that I could see they were off put. I can see why, i.e. you've got a random person coming in potentially wanting to do stuff with your students, and if you're facilitating a service, I could be a serial killer, I could be myself, I could be
well, it kind of reminded me, there's a guy who owns a car advice company, and a guy was sort of doing that to a certain degree, but trying to get to this particular individual, and he was kind of outing him out on Instagram and sharing him across for whatever reason, but both the way that the guy was being portrayed and how everyone else was reacting was like, yeah, this guy is like a psycho freak. Make sure you
So this is the person visiting.
This is the person visiting. Was like, oh, this must be a psycho. He must be like a freak. He should be jailed. So this is what I'm assuming. There's people are like, this guy needs to be jailed. Okay,
so that was probably the first 3 or 4. All right, there was a couple of middling ones where they just went, no, we don't do that. Yeah. There's a board over here. You can post something up on this community board if you want. Usually it's stuff like, I'm selling, I'm looking for a roommate. That sort of stuff.
Just standard sort of things.
Then the last couple that I went to, man, there was this one guy who I'm guessing he was the actual boss or owner of this thing. And, I go in and kind of explain it. And I see him looking. And he's like, that's a really good idea. That's a great idea. And then he's starting to chat me, asking me more for detail. And I'm getting, this feeling like, oh, he's probably getting into it too deep. In essence, I'm just looking for something like a casual thing. And, I gave him my email. I'm like, look, use this if you want to bring it up with any of your teachers. They can bring it up in the class. If anyone wants to practice with an Australian, here you go. They can contact me via here. Another one I went to, and this was probably the fanciest school of the bunch, I think. Lady walk in, this lady's like, come into my office. And she's like walking me to a fancy office. Okay. And then she's like, yeah, full on, okay, so lay it out for me. And she's full in business mode. What are your thoughts? Not financials or things, but how would this operate? What would we get? This sort of thing. Yeah. Once again, I'm like, this is probably a bit more than what I was expecting, to be honest.
You're walking in there expecting some casual.
They're thinking business opportunity. Let's make some connections, get some shit done. Bam. So it was a fun experience. And she gave me her email. I lost it. I lost the card. So apologies. I think it was Nat. Look, to be honest, it was too much
many,
anyway.
Too many Natalies you're meeting these days.
What the whole purpose of this is, I've done this before. I've met up with randoms through Facebook, I think it was mostly Facebook, maybe meetup.com as well, where it would be, a one-on-one thing. They're looking for exactly what I'm looking for, an intercambio, an exchange of languages. The problem with this is it's almost like a date. So you're going in cold to a date. Imagine if you're getting set up by a completely random person. It's not like a friend is setting you up with a blind date or something. What I was really looking for is can I do this? Imagine the filtering process of speed dating. Could I apply that with my language learning? Because when I would meet these people, I'd be, sure, having a conversation with them in Spanish or English or whatnot. But there weren't people I really wanted to see again, because it is a completely cold call. I have no idea about them. They have no idea about me. The chances of it being a genuine friendship from that is almost nil.
Sure.
Which was why I was really hoping, do you have barbecues? Do you have, exchange?
Yeah, so it's like a bigger group sort of thing.
Yeah, so I could kind of be like, this person's really cool. I enjoy chatting with them, and they were also are looking for the same thing. So that was my whole goal of it. I didn't succeed in that, but I tried.
The goal ultimately was just to go and knock on the doors and go see the different places.
Yeah, knock some doors, get some business, make some things happen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anti-growth Kyrin would have been like, nah, I'm not here for this, man. Come on, show me the girls.
Oh, jeez. So let's get into the Boostergram Lounge. Well, more recap, I suppose, of the month. Once again, because this is done on the exact day. This is the 1st of March as we're recording. That is when I tally all my boost things together. So I've gotten the data, but I didn't have time beforehand to actually put it up. So this is old stats. Once again, if you just haven't tuned in before, we've got the kind of 3 shows which we've used together. The mere
so
models,
you are amalgamating them on a monthly basis
value
now?
for value. I think I can kind of do that because the book review, the value for value is staying constant. From what I can tell, i.e. I'm not making new stuff, so people aren't boosting that. The book reviews, that's not too hard. I can just, because there's only it's only Peter, really, who's boosting in, and a couple others, so I could kind of do that.
All right.
And the mere mortals, that is the ones where I can just input the data relatively easy. So, I think I can do that, but we'll see. We'll see as well. Anywho, had about 2.2 million come in for the mere mortals, about 300,000 stats for the book review in total, and the value for value about 900,000, totaling up to about 3.4 million in total. Thank you everyone for contributing to the show. It is very much appreciated. We love the boostergrams themselves. It's the content part at the moment is what we really enjoy. But of course, having all these stats does allow me to contribute that back into my fund of going back into shows, highlighting other shows. I'm helping podcasting.
Absolutely.
If you help us, I'm helping podcasting. So
if you help us, you're helping the economy of the podcasting world. And I did see a little post by Fountain. I do believe that there's now 12,000 podcasts now operating in the value for value space. Again, how many of them are active? Probably predominantly a lot of them.
No, all of them would be active. The thing is, about 3/4 of them are three speak feeds. So from the Hive blockchain, Brian of London from episode 71, conversation 71, I should say. One of the things he did was he converted every single video of this thing called 3Speak, which was published on the Hive blockchain. He converted all of them into RSS feeds, and you can have video in the RSS. So about 3/4 of them are, imagine as if you'd taken Vimeo's. No, so they're actual channels, and there are people actually creating stuff.
them, but they're in essence just clips of another podcast.
They're full shows, but they are video predominant on the blockchain. These people who do it, almost all of them would not realize that they could get their stuff in a actual podcasting app. He just did it on his own free whim because fuck it, he can do that on the Hive blockchain and whatnot. So
cool.
3/4 of them are technically podcasts because they are an RSS feed, but in the spirit of podcasting, they're not podcasts. They're video things on a blockchain which have been converted.
Fair.
So they're all active pretty much. Maybe be like 3 or 5 shows.
Well, when I said active, I guess I was meaning still continuously posting on
That's
a
what I
monthly
mean.
basis, I guess.
Almost all of them, of the podcasts that are on there would be.
Yep.
You know, value for value being one of those who aren't, but I'm going to get back into it. The 3Speak feeds, they're a whole different thing. Once again, I have a 3Speak feed. I haven't published
Would you call the Value for Value podcast right now an active podcast, or would it be
It's dormant.
Dormant? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So note all of the 12,000 would be active.
I would imagine of the 3Speak feeds, probably a third of them are active. And so that'd be 1/3 of 8,000, roughly, give or take. Of the 4,000 podcasts, I would say probably 90% of them would be active.
That's what I would have thought. Yeah, because
it's so recent. You have to have done it
quite recently. Yeah.
More most likely. But I don't know.
Look, that's still a high percentage. If you look at wasn't there like a statistic or roughly like in all of the podcasts there are in the world, like 4.5, 5 million or whatever, active is like 400,000 or something.
Yeah, it's about 10%.
It's like 10%. So 10% versus what? 70%, something like that in Valley for Valley. It's like multitudes above it. So
yes.
in any case, thank you very much, folks, for supporting through with those sats. And a lot of these things we talk about in a Boostergram perspective, but we do see streams coming through as well, and any little bit as well supports in that front. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now on to Mars, if you want to call it. We've got the March goals. Merz for German. Woo! We've got the March 2023 goals. Now, we said it in plenty of different languages, but I have no language monthly goals. In fact, I have very few monthly goals in March, and you'll probably get the stream of it as I go through it. But
He's got 6.
Got 6. In the fitness space, I want to be aiming to match my calorie intake, roughly about 10% variance to what I've actually predicted. I've got a day-by-day calculation of what I want in my cals, basically determined by how I'm training that particular day, whether I'm doing massive amounts of walking or if I'm pretty sedentary. Give or take, I want to be roughly hitting it at about 10% variance. I've just kind of let it go for a long time, not really worrying about it too much. So I just want to nail that in, especially before the next coming months. 2, LinkedIn. I've really kind of let that go for a long time. I've noticed the interactions in LinkedIn have dropped in quite a lot of ways.
I have not used LinkedIn in a long time. What's the deal? Is Gary Vee still talking about it?
He is. There's a lot of podcasts coming out. There's a few things outside of can't talk about it just yet. There's a few things going on in my world that I need a little bit more LinkedIn presence in the next few months. So there's that front, but there's some thoughts and ideas and interactions I'm seeing in LinkedIn that I go, there's some opportunity. I've been seeing in the last couple of months, there's a few opportunities which, if I'm not at least putting a little bit more effort into that space, I'm going to miss it. A few examples of the few things that Lex shares specifically through LinkedIn, let's just say as an example, that I like to interact with. There's an AI group that I'm part of now using. It starts with L. There's it's not this. Imagine Discord, but it starts with Lounge. So they use Lounge to interact. It's through a venture capital firm called, can't remember. I'll find it. Casey is the name of the chick who got me into it, but it's a sort of worldwide AI. In any case, lots of opportunities in LinkedIn. I often find that through LinkedIn, there was good information that I found myself sourcing, more unique than in the Twitter sphere and a few other places. So in any case, I want to get myself some more thoughts and ideas through LinkedIn. Not too much, 2 a week. That's easy peasy as comparison to what I've done in the past. 3, I want to be building a new office with content creation capabilities. So you would have heard me if you were on the YouTube live before we actually started the formal podcast, but I am building out another Mere Mortals on-site location, basically at my place. But there's a good couple of ideas. I've already planned it out. It's kind of those first times where I think the first time when we were thinking about this place, it was, hey, we need a big table. What's some of the spaces that we might need? I think we originally had a shitty stand-up light, and then we're like, okay, no, we have to get the proper lights. Whereas now the idea is, hey, there's like an office / content creation place, and I've got a bit more freedom. Let's just say I've got more freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. So I want to really set up like a super cool table, have the things I need, getting inspiration from different places.
Can I have the gamer lights, people?
Gamer lights? Nah, I definitely wouldn't have gamer lights. I don't think I've ever had like one of those LED strips ever. I don't even know I don't even know anybody who has LED strips apart from my sister. I don't know if she still has them.
My brother does.
Damn. Now, so yes, and that's going to take up a lot of time because I don't want to be on a table. We're going to make a custom table as well for the room. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. 4, I want to set up another big family catch up. Did one in February, which was really great fun. Now this is more than just a family catch up. It's quite a lot of thought into the questions and the ideas we're talking about it, finding out information, history, it's all the good stuff. Takes a bit of effort, so I'm putting that as a monthly goal. 5, I want to complete my little list of dad to be and talk with a partner over it. So I've written it. I haven't synthesized it and put it down to it, like the actionable things, plus the conversation with a partner to go, okay, we're now expecting a little baby in 2 months, basically, give or take from right now, depending on how it rolls. I want to be getting the things straight in terms of, hey, what are some of our expectations? How are we going to be dealing with things? And then that goes into the 6th one, which is basically completing the checklist of things I'm going to be needing for home, for life, for the baby to arrive. And so that just goes into all the really down to the minutia of, hey, getting the bag ready for the hospital, getting the things ready for the first few weeks, going and building the bassinet that we've got now, putting the cot together, finishing off the room. Lots of stuff. So obviously, so March is going to be all focused on little baby coming through, with more of the focus on the calorie intake as well. So pretty easy monthly goals in the sense of there's no things that are like out of this world, but there's a lot of effort that's going to be involved in some of these things.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. Yeah,
a lot of stuff there. So that's March 2023 for me.
You got a busy couple of months ahead.
Busy
Year ahead, to be honest. All right, my March goals are for 2023. So they're very much similar, as you've probably seen and noticed for all of these. I have my 8, and they all link to the long term or the yearly goals that I set up. So I'm going to have 12 dedicated hours this time. So what I have been doing is approaching.
12 dedicated hours of approaching.
Yes. So I'm going to set aside, that amount of time to actually physically go out, and it's not going to be me in workout gear or in random stuff. So it's going to be like, all right, I'm here to approach. So any location in particular? Or
just
I probably will go to UQ, I think, at some point. No, just the general like areas where there's lots of people around.
I wonder now if like I'm in 2 minds. Whether like every time when I see you, if it's going to be like, wow, you met this incredible person, or am I going to see like an article written being like, bald guy appearing at universities? Like, I wonder if it's starting to get to the point that people are going to call it out.
Nah,
like, will someone do it?
So.
Not, well, I'm not talking like an article now, but I'm talking like, I almost feel like I'm not expecting middle of the
on Stalker Space or something.
Yeah, like I'm expecting not middle of the road stories anymore. I'm expecting real good success or just shit that we can laugh at. Like, that's it. There's no like middle. There's no like, oh yeah, I went and it was kind of a normal interaction and we parted our merry ways. It was like, no, it didn't work out well, or like, yes, this was fantastic.
Yeah, it's hard to say. There's another one right at the bottom which will kind of link up with this. So,
okay. So let's say 12 hours focus. Okay, yep.
100 approaches. I'm upping it. I didn't, I only
100 approaches.
I only did 30. I'm gonna go for
100. Okay.
Like I said, I feel I feel like I just need to filter more. I just need to meet more and more people. It's basically the
thoughts. Yep.
The thoughts at the moment. So. Kind of community-wise, I want to improve the boosting capabilities, the website for the Mere Mortalites. I think there's a couple of things. I was talking to one before a couple of days ago about this, and it'll be in the next musings that are after this relating to podcasting as well. Mm-hmm. So, well, technically, I guess came out before this episode is released. Crypto-wise or financial-wise, I got to set up some improved security systems, and I've got there's a couple of things I can be doing, especially crypto wise, but also with my financial logins and things like that, which I can improve. Okay. And step number 1 of that is by not telling you exactly what I'm going to do. So
are these crypto related or just overall related?
It's both. Okay. It's finance related.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So some things related to that. 30 hours of deep stretching. I've been doing well with that. So this is a fun one, a unique experience. Pick someone and eat some brownies. So I've had these brownies, which may or may not have magical qualities. Yeah. Sitting in my freezer for too long, and it's like I want to have an experience with someone. So I've actually been trying for the last 3 months to get someone to join me, and it's always like, yeah, we will, and then nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
So something will happen this month, and I'll recount if there's anything noteworthy that comes from that in the next monthly goals. Finished a Spanish book and 12 hours of German. My German has actually been really improving, I would say, this last while.
Yep.
I met up with a girl this month and had I could communicate with her. I was surprised by my communication skills, considering I haven't done much, very, very little face-to-face. With her, I probably did about 15 minutes, which is probably about 10 minutes more than I have done in my whole life of German. So that was really good. And the Spanish book was because I've noticed my Spanish is actually kind of declining. So I
have noted that slightly. Actually, no, I won't say no. How would I even say this? How should I neg you in this?
Oh, you be careful with that word, one.
No, I did see a little message. Now, not many people actually
One's
knew
a
that
nega.
was a nega.
With 2 E's.
EGGING. It's an Urban Dictionary to actually do that particular action. I was actually showing Pana because she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, I showed it. Yeah. No, because your pronunciation in Spanish has never been ideal.
No,
never been super fluent. But I don't think it. I've noticed it falter slightly. However, your grammatical and knowledge of the words is still, I feel, is the same. But maybe your pronunciation of it is slightly skewed.
Yeah, been.
And I actually think that's more the. I actually think it's more the German than it's been forgetting Spanish. Like as in like there's, I would assume some pronunciation of German that sort of falters into Spanish. Reason I know this, I'm seeing it in my Spanish with French. And I'm like, oh damn, yeah, that's actually how you pronounce it. So I was like,
French, Colombian.
Well, it's like the R's in Spanish now slightly changing because of the French I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, this is a bit weird. So
yeah, true. I also noticed that I'll be doing my German practice, and then my brain's wanting to like create an imaginary scenario where I'm speaking Spanish, and it's like, no. Don't do that. You gotta concentrate here. You do that, you're gonna end up with just pain. It's gonna be painful.
Well, in French, unfortunately for me, in French, the words in French and Spanish are exactly the same. Like say for honey, exactly the same.
Miel.
Like miel, and it's French. It's like slightly different.
Miel.
And so I want to like pronounce it in French now rather than Spanish. You get this, folks. You get this.
Good stuff. The joys of bilingualism. Last two is trilingual, yeah. Be more direct with my communication. So this is also relating to that aspect of making it more extreme on either end. So what I have noticed is I've been getting into conversations with girls, and I think they're just maybe not getting the point that I'm hitting on them, as in there may be, and I've always done this indirect style. That's always been my favorite, but that I think probably in the past I was better at switching it to like a little bit of a sexual tone at the appropriate moment, which I haven't been doing because I'm probably so used to podcasting now where it's just like conversational. There's not meant to be any sexual hints in here. And that is where it's like, okay, I probably need to add that bit of directness so they get the idea like, oh, he's actually hitting on me. It doesn't have to be straight away. It's not like I have to do direct approaches. I might try some if I'm feeling like it.
I had a very interesting conversation. I don't know how much this applies to how much it'll be in practicality, because this was only an N of one. I heard this, right?
Okay.
In passing. Well, in passing, I actually queried into it. And so this might apply in that particular month ago, where someone had been having a conversation at a gym, right? And at first, the first interaction, they'd basically just seen each other. That's it. Second interaction, a little bit of hellos. That's it. Third interaction, the guy approached, they had a good conversation, but they parted ways at the third time. Now, I kind of suggested, I was like, oh, could have exchanged numbers. That might have been like the appropriate time. Now, the reaction of that was, no, that would have been creepy. Like, that would have been a bit weird. It would have been like a bit too fast. I wouldn't find that appropriate. And then in further conversation, I kind of suggested, well, what if it was at a bar, right? And, if it was the first, second time you've seen this person and then they ask for a number there, oh, no, that's fine. Now, I kind of took away from that is, well, it's very much the environment where you're doing that. And what came to mind when you were saying all this, like, would you try to up the ante of the location so it's more appropriate to, hey, look, I'm actually hitting on you. I'm not just having a conversation.
I feel that's all the ones that I'm in because I'm cold approaching. So it's not. Look, I wouldn't do this in the run club, for example. I probably still would press as quicker rather than later. So if I get into a good chat with a girl there, look, there's a good chance you're never going to see her again. Even in the gym, workplace is maybe a little bit different, but that's got its own risks and whatnot. Basically everywhere that I'm going, it's a one and done. Like there's a very good chance I'll never see them again. So I kind of have to go for it.
Yep.
I've talked about this many times. I just don't enjoy that becoming friend, moving from friend into relationship sort of thing. I find it too slow. I think it's not suited for me. Just it's never happened like that for me. So no, I don't. Yeah, I'll watch myself in the run club so I don't become like that guy.
Yeah, approaching everyone. Yeah.
Yes, correct. But when I'm out in random places, as long as I'm not like in the same place every single day, then you're fine. What you were talking about before, people are so in their own worlds, they barely notice random stuff outside of that. So over the years, how many people have actually seen me and known that I was hitting on girls in that area? I'd say very few.
Very little. Okay.
Very few.
Yep.
Last one, download and rename all the JSON files from the Mere Models book reviews. Just once again, trying to future-proof myself for getting better at coding. And so I have...
You are going to automate this?
Well, that's the point, to automate that process. I've kind of got a little bit in place already, but I'm going to use my friend ChatGPT to try and help me...
Cool.
Help me do it properly, I guess. Or
using Python?
Using Python.
Okay.
Using Python, correct. Cool. All right, those are all my goals. Damn.
Very good. Well, that's been the March 2023 goals, folks.
Yeah,
now,
how's your fitness been, Juan?
Been good. This particular March now, it's starting to move towards... Well, I want to basically get as fit as possible before baby comes around. So it's still, 2 months away. But I'm doing what I used to do when I was at CrossFit, which is basically doing CrossFit type workouts plus my workouts now. So my workouts are now extended out to 90-minute sort of efforts where, for the people at home, probably my heart rate's between 140 to 180 for almost the entire 90 minutes. So it's it's pretty good. It's good. It's a good workout. I'm getting absolutely drenched. I've got the time for it. So it's been nice. So I haven't been attempting to hit any heavier weight, but it's more just getting my general fitness up to a higher level basically before it all goes to shit and deteriorates back down. But I'm like, before that, let's get it to a high enough possible point so that I can basically, once I take off some good time and baby comes around, I've got hopefully a better starting point than what it might have been if it just focuses purely on strength. So that's, for me, nothing else from like a fitness perspective than that.
Yeah, nice. Mine is going to stay relatively the same. Because I haven't done anything this month. I've been upside down for maybe 2 minutes total this whole entire month.
2 minutes total?
I'd say something like that. And the only exercise I did was a 3K run basically once a week.
3K run?
Yeah. So, and a very casual one at that. So yeah, that was all just to heal the elbow. It is feeling pretty good. Like I mentioned, I did something very stupid by doing that ninja course and I came out of it scot-free.
Lucky.
So I was like, maybe the 3 weeks prior of no activity had kind of already given me a little bit of leeway.
True.
And done most of the healing. So I can say that I did a workout yesterday and today, and there was no pain in the actual movements themselves. It's kind of tender afterwards. And, even right now, it's okay. But, if I put it in a certain position, I can feel it. And in particular, I've now nailed it down to supination. So that's kind of if you have your arm out in front of you as if you're looking through a telescope or something, or what are those pirate suits? Periscope. Yep. Pirates holding a periscope. If you have your right arm out and you do it to the right hand side with any weight in it, that's when I can really start to feel like, oh, it's feeling a bit tender. Whereas all other movements, moving in and out, twisting, things like that, wrist curls, upwards and downwards, that's all feeling good. So it's in this just one particular plane where it's tender at the moment. So.
Tender, and do you know if it's like tendon, joint, muscle?
Once again, I think it's tendon, but I don't know for sure. I'm gonna basically be doing just some strength exercises. So have various like weights and to basically just work on this until like point of too heavy, stop, go back, and basically what I'm doing is like I'm holding a stick up and just rotating the arm out or the wrist, and that is just I can feel it like shooting down right into the sore point in the elbow.
Okay, fair.
So I've got some plans, but yes, no fitness stuff was achieved this last month other than healing.
Healing was achieved.
Achieved. So yeah, that was I was reasonably happy with that.
Good. Okay. Well, me and Modelites, we're going to leave it there. That has been the monthly goals for March 2023. We've got me, Juan, focusing in on lots of baby stuff. And we got Kyrin hitting on basically the remaining women in Brisbane.
Hitting on the all girls.
All girls that exist reigning in Brisbane is Kyrin's approach. Yes. At this point, he'll finish this up and he'll have to go to Germany to begin the new stage there. Plus a lot of stretching.
Probably helps.
Again, if you want to join us in with the monthly goals, we do them live as well. We do them, it's normally before the Musings episode, so we do it at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to join in, it's normally at 6:15. For now, though, if you've checked it out informally, feel free to send it through a boostergram, stream through some sats, get participating in the Valley for Valley model. But for now, we're going to leave it at that. One out.
Kyrin out. Boy.
Good. Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Ta-da.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to turn this off, and then we're going to be doing into the next one. Peace.